All right, something that is so interesting is that in this life, we get to have the experience of experiencing untruth, and especially for ages 0 to 6 or 7 or 8, downloads happen pretty easily of the system and the brain downloading what it sees and encounters, even whether it's a true concept or non-true. What people say, what attitudes that they live their life with, beliefs get downloaded pretty easily. So during that time period, as well as just all of life, we have the ability and the opportunity for our system to be downloading things that are not true into our programming, beliefs that are not true, that are false. And then that software will run. The software that's inside of a person, inside of their energy field in their mind, will operate whether it's true or not. And then it will produce certain outcomes and results. So by the fruits you can know if the tree is truth or non-truth. So it's fascinating, and the universe doesn't necessarily come in and save us from it. Someone can have downloaded a false belief into their system, and it will operate, and it will produce outcomes that are false, that are not aligned with truth, and that produce pain and hurt and suffering and sorrow, destruction for themselves and the things in their world and their life. And the universe doesn't automatically come in and rescue and be like, here, let me fix that for you, and let me uninstall that software, let me fix all the damage it's done, and let me install truth in its place, and there you go, you're all set. Because it's us, it's up to us. We get to be the ones who are on the remodeling job of our own software. It's us who gets to go through that project of decluttering and checking all of our software for false beliefs and non-truth, and cleaning it out, and then installing and bringing in truth to replace it. It's us. And there are lots of forces that help. There are angels. God has orchestrated this process to include a lot of outside forces that are supportive. Can even angels helping, and circumstances, age, the process of aging, like all kinds of processes can help support that, but it has to come from within inside a person. Their agency cannot be overstepped, or at least God does not operate in the realm of disrespecting or overstepping people's agency. So the person themselves gets to be the one who has the job and is in charge of remodeling anything inside their system, inside their body, mind, their aura, their energy field that is not true. They are the one who are the remodeler. They are on the job of finding it and rooting it out, and then going on the adventure to explore and discover like what truth was missing in that spot, and then learn it and then bring it in and replace until they reach the point where they're completely cleaned out. They have cleaned out all falseness out of their system and filled it up with truth. Self-actualization and like ascension and being in full power and all the yummy good things that God recommends. Also, God is recommending all of those same things, but just in different words in scriptures. So that's the journey. If we so choose to accept the mission, we can reprogram ourselves. We can remodel, pull out all the weeds, and plant beautiful, profitable, fruitful plants in our garden. Or not. It's our choice. And we get to have the outcome of whichever way we want to go with that. So it's interesting. It is interesting to be human. To be in this place where we're experiencing this. Where we are experiencing being in a body and having a lot of false beliefs and false programs running as software in our system. And it feels real and it feels true. And it's producing outcomes. Truth produces the fruits of truth, and falseness produces the fruits of falseness. Which we could go into what that looks like. We could talk about that for a long time. And then it's up to us if we're going to go about looking for weeds in ourselves and weeding them out and replacing them with the plants that produce good fruits or not. It is fascinating to be inside a human body in humanness and witnessing where falseness within my own programming is creating outcomes in my life, creating experiences, creating stuckness, frozenness, avoidance, creating certain experiences in my relationships, creating certain experiences and outcomes in my body and in its health and in how it's presenting. I get to be having that experience just like you. And it's trippy. Also because programs can feel really true and the system can feel very convinced about them. So it can feel some resistance to changing them and weeding them out. Because it's, when software is downloaded into your system, you feel it. It's present. All of the beliefs involved that are like appendages to that are all present. And I smell a skunk. So I'm gonna close windows while I finish my thoughts. Yeah, so that's the situation we're all in. Getting to be alive and getting to be a human. And it's all within our power because we're the one in charge. We're the one who decides if we're going to remodel and find and root out all the falseness, or if we're not going to. We are the one who gets to decide to have faith and to go through the process of when we find a false program or false belief and can identify this does not produce the fruits of truth, therefore this is a false belief, even if we feel attached to it, even if we feel scared to experience change and undergo the process of change, of letting go of one thing to bring in something better, letting go of a false belief or false unhealthy behavior to bring in a healthy one, that the process of change is the experience of change, and that can feel uncomfortable. And are we going to have bravery and courage to do it anyway, or are we going to succumb to avoiding it because we're afraid? Then we could go into instead looking at what false beliefs we have about change and what truth beliefs we're lacking, and we could go work on that instead, and then come back to the original software updating project. But what's interesting about all of this is that the real truth is all goodness. Like, that's already real. What's interesting is that humans do really well when they are born to and have a mother who loves them and have a father who loves them. It really helps humans. And also has other people, has a community, has friends, has other people like siblings or teachers or mentors or just other community members who love them. And all these people who love them see their traits, can see the person, can see their traits, can see their goodness, can see their heart, can feel and understand the positive desires and intentions of their heart. They all love the person, they see them, they understand who they are and they appreciate them. That's very helpful for humans. And also when the person is accepted, that like that these positive traits inside of them are appreciated. And then also when all those people who love them also encourage the person to grow and to go on their journey of continuing to learn and grow. And every time they learn and grow, they become more empowered and capable, and they become more light. And so all these people who love them love and appreciate them, and also encourage them and cheer them on in growing. And it's very helpful also for humans when they have the circumstances and opportunities to grow, to take on new responsibilities, to take on a challenge and overcome it, a circumstance and setting to take on a job or a chance to learn to do something they've never done before. So all those things are very helpful for humans. But what's interesting is that even if they're not present in a person's life, maybe they didn't have a mom or a dad, maybe they haven't had community of multiple people outside themselves cheering for them, maybe they haven't had people who can see them and give them appreciation. Everyone who's ever lived on the earth does have that 100% of the time, and has had it 100% of the minutes of their earth life, because we all have it, at least spiritually. We have a divine Father who loves us and has completely our entire existence. We have a divine Mother who loves us and has been loving us our entire existence. We have other people, multiple other people, a community of other people besides ourselves and our heavenly parents, who love us and see us and comprehend who we are and see our strengths and the positive desires of our heart and are cheering for us at all times in the spiritual dimension. We have a bright future in the spiritual dimension. We live forever in the spiritual dimension. We have opportunity for our soul to keep growing and learning in the spiritual dimension. So even if all of these things were present for a human during their earth life, that's awesome. Then they are experiencing it being present in the spiritual dimension and the physical. But even for humans, when any of those things, or even all of those things, were not present in the physical dimension, it is true that it did exist in the spiritual dimension the whole time. So the real truth, the eternal truth, the real reality, the real universe is filled with love for us, multiple people and angels cheering for us, seeing our positive attributes and gifts and strengths, cheering for our growth, desiring goodness for us, doing a lot of things to help support our growth. And we always have opportunity. The opportunity always exists and is being formed, and multiple forces coming into place to assist us having opportunities for our soul to grow. So that is the real reality. And no matter what we're currently experiencing in our earth life, if we turn our eyes upward to see that and continue focusing on it and counseling ourselves and talking to ourselves about it, we'll be able to feel it in our physical body more. And we'll be able to feel it and comprehend it in our mind more. So the reality that's already there, we'll be able to experience more of it and experience it, the truth of it. And as that happens, when we do that spiritually, it helps it create it physically as well. So say someone didn't have a mother. The more that they turn their eyes upward to look towards the spiritual truth and what is existing in the spiritual dimension for them, and receive that and feel that, like, holy cow, I've had a heavenly mother the entire time who has always been loving me, seeing the good in me, seeing my strengths, and knowing who I am and cheering for me the whole time. The more that they turn their eyes towards that, it emphasizes the truth of that within their own being and helps magnetize that into creation in the physical realm. And there can be people, women in their life who step in to mother them, who want to be part of their life, who want to support them, even if it's just like one time or weekly or ongoing. There's lots of ways where it can be physically created in their life. But if that person doesn't look up towards the spiritual truth and continue looking towards it until they can feel it and feeling it stronger in their body and in their mind, and instead turns their eyes to look towards the false, which is a lie, look towards there's no motherly love for them in existence, that they are motherless, and feminine, nurturing energy has never come towards them and will not come towards them for the rest of their life. It'll create that same thing into physical reality. Women will feel not drawn to nurture them or mother them or show up for them. So it's really interesting that the real truth is all good things. Like every good thing that we could want is actually that's the truth. It's already real. It's already there. That already is existence. But where we are disconnected from that, or our system is believing otherwise because of the programs it's downloaded, beliefs other people around them had that then got downloaded into theirs, or through experiences, moments where they were experiencing the other, that regardless, they have the power to align themselves to the real truth, and it will change the physical reality around them. So that person who grew up without a mother has the option and the power to choose to turn their eyes towards the spiritual truth and the eternal truth, and to receive that and bring that in, that they do actually have a mother, they have a spiritual mother, and who has been there for them the whole time, has been loving them their whole existence, feels affection and nurturing towards them, and is cheering them on, sees them, knows who they are. The more they turn towards that, then they'll be able to experience that within their own body and feel the truth of it resonate and experience what that feels like. But then it will also manifest in their physical world. That experience people being their mother will happen in their life. So it's very cool. It's very interesting. So in a sense, we get to choose, and it's up to us. We have the power to choose where we're going to turn our attention and awareness, and if we're going to choose to learn the truth and install it into our being, get software upgrades, or if we're going to choose not to. And if we choose to continue believing any false software or programs running in our system. That's interesting. It's quite the experience to be here in human life. And so if our system gets cleaned out of all false programs and beliefs, and gets filled up with light and truth, is up to us. We're the one. It's up to us if we're going to have that outcome or not. Like, it's up to us to create that. All the power is in our own hands. It doesn't mean that the human emotions don't happen. But that is the process. We can choose to go through the process of learning truth and bringing it into us, and getting eyes to be able to identify the falseness stored in our energy field, in our aura, in our mind, in our unconscious mind, which makes identifying a trigger like the best news ever, because a trigger is when a falseness in our unconscious comes to the surface to be detectable. We can detect what it is because we're feeling it. It's risen to the surface to feel the emotions of it, to hear the thoughts of it and the beliefs of it, to get to witness what the outcomes are of it, what kind of behaviors it produces, what kind of reactions to the outside world it produces. So triggers are so awesome because it's our own false programming rising to the surface to become seeable to our own conscious self, so that we can become empowered to know that that's in us and to know then what to do next about it, to be able to root it out and to go find a replacement for it. Like if this was the false perspective, what would be the truth perspective or the divine perspective? And then we can bring in that divine perspective, and booyah, software upgrading just took place. Which is how we become liberated and free. Liberating from falseness and lies. And having eyes opened to see and feel and know the truth, which is that we are in a bright universe, a safe universe. We are surrounded at all times by divine love, immense, wonderful, beautiful divine love, and we all have a bright future. And we are creators, and we get to create our own evolution, becoming, by choosing and using our agency power to align ourselves to the divine, align ourselves to truth. So cheers. Cheers, cheers to the journey of becoming and filling up with light.